Hey guys, Willie the Kid here, and today I want to talk about something that's really shaken up the Destiny community as of late. So last week, Bungie did announce in their This Week at Bungie that Trials will not be coming back anytime soon. And understandably, a lot of the Destiny community is angry about this, especially those content creators who really got started out with Trials and PvP. They're really dedicated to that mode. So the fact that not only is it not coming back next season, but the fact that we now do not have an actual date on when it will return, it's understandable of why a lot of people are very angry at this. But when I see a lot of people talking about the non-return of Trials, I see that we're not really talking about, what might be the reason why it's not returning anytime soon, especially when, I was going through kind of like the social media responses about why it's not returning. I've seen a lot of people not try to point fingers at Bungie, but more of asking, well, how can we help? There's been calls for, hey, maybe if you were to host another community summit, similar to what you did after the Curse of Osiris, when the state of Destiny was not in the best place. They were saying, well, maybe if you do one of those, we can, discuss about how you can make some changes here, there. They're just really trying to take another step forward and say, well, how can we help you reach that goal in figuring out what would be best to bring Trials back sooner than later. And a lot of the responses I saw from Bungie's end was just requoting the TWAB, in which they said, we have all the feedback, and when we're ready to share it, we'll share it. So not very dismissive, but to the point to where they're like, we don't need any more feedback. We've seen a lot of people talk about Trials, which there's a lot of feedback about Trials way from when it was first released, the D2, the Destiny 2 version of Trials. A lot of people have been vocal about the goods, the bads, and everything. So I can understand where they're coming from, where they're saying, we don't need any more feedback. We know what you guys want. Give us time to develop that, to make sure that when Trials does return, it'll be to everyone's standards. And so for me, just hearing those kind of responses and making that inference from it, I feel like there's mainly two reasons of why Destiny has gone to, or Bungie for that matter, have gone to the lengths of what they were doing in order to bring Trials back. The first reason is that they may just actually want to do it right and bring it back so that it captures that same glory that Destiny 1's version of Trials did. Because along with the feedback of people saying, hey, what can we do to help? Myself being included, I asked, well, why not just bring back the Destiny 1 version of Trials and just bring it back to Destiny 2 until you have, the version that everyone's all satisfied with. And, after I posted that on my personal social media channels, I really began to think about it. And I've noticed about when Bungie does that, when they bring back something that was in Destiny 1 that wasn't included in the Destiny 2 launch, you have one side of the community where they're really happy that it's finally back and everyone's happy. And then you have the other side where they're just continuously wondering, well, why did you build a Destiny 2 if you're just bringing back Destiny 1? And I feel like that, coupled with the fact of when they bring back something from Destiny 1, it really isn't super life-changing to where it stays for the length of Destiny 2. Most recent example, The Last Word. They brought back The Last Word and everyone's, really happy that it's finally returning, but it's not one of those, at least in my experience, it's not one of those weapons where everyone's like, hey, I'm going to definitely use this. I'm using this from here on out. Everyone is still gravitating towards the Destiny 2 weapon set, or, it's basically to that point where it's like, okay, great, we have Destiny 1, yet another Destiny 1 feature or weapon that they brought back to us, but we want to see what was the reason of building Destiny 2. Where's that innovation? And so because of that, I feel like that's mainly one of the main reasons why they're not simply going to bring back Destiny 1 trials and just put it in the game, because there's a lot of time, as I can't recall the post right now, but there was a post from a developer who said essentially getting D1 content into D2 is not a cut and paste. It has to go through the process all over again, essentially. So I mean, the design features and everything, it's there, but I guess the whole, I'm not a game developer, so the process of getting that concept into the game, there's still more time there's still more time needed in order to effectively put it into the system. And that kind of leads over to the next reason, in which for me, I believe that the new Gambit experience that we're going to be receiving later on March 5th, as was announced when the Season of the Drifter comes out, this new Gambit experience may be offering a similar challenge that Trials brought to everyone when it was first announced, or it's simply they've been working on this new Gambit experience for however long they've been working on it, and they don't want Trials, they essentially don't want Trials in this Gambit experience to compete with each other, because essentially I feel like there's two outcomes that could happen if you release them next to each other, and that basically involves one cannibalizing the other. You know, you bring back Trials, the Trials from Destiny 1, and everyone is so excited for it that they're playing Trials, but this new Gambit experience, people play it once and then they're like, but Trials is back in its old glory, so I'm going to play that, and no one plays the Gambit experience. Therefore, all the time that the developers put into this, all the work, all the man hours, is basically for naught, because everyone's playing Destiny 1 Trials. And or also the vice versa could happen, where they decide to bring Destiny 1 Trials back, but this new Gambit experience is actually fun, it's engaging, it's something that people actually want to play, that everyone gravitates towards that, and therefore they've just wasted time not only implementing old D1 into the system, but then also that was just a placeholder. They're still working on Trials to a version to where everyone is really satisfied. So I feel like, you know, and this is the reason that I really gravitate towards that. They want to give this new Gambit experience a living, breathing chance, you know, get it released, have people play it, get some feedback, see if there's a way that they can, you know, kind of change it to where it's giving its fighting chance. And then afterwards, once it's in a place where everyone is in agreement that it is an enjoyable experience, then you bring back Trials so that everyone gravitates towards that activity as well, but neither one is cannibalizing another. For me, I feel like those are, you know, two good reasons of, you know, it's not malicious intent. It's not saying that they're neglecting the PvP community. It's just making sure that they're offering a lot more to everyone, and making sure that their, you know, their work and, you know, the hours that their developers are putting into, especially since now they are an independent studio, they want to make sure that everyone's work is valued and giving a fighting chance. But for me personally, I like to say that I'm good at PvP. I'm definitely, you know, have some room to grow. But, you know, for D1, I went flawless twice, and for D2, I went flawless once. In D2, I went flawless once, and that was the first week that Trials was announced, and then after that, I did not try again. Because, you know, just as Bungie said that they understand, it was nothing like D1's trial experience, plus the fact that, you know, with the way that they handled being able to obtain Trials gear and basically giving it to anyone who was in a clan, and if you earned that clan engram, it basically took the challenge out of Trials. So I feel like there was a lot of lessons that was learned, and that, you know, I'm confident that they're able to, you know, and this is, again, maybe they already have it and they're like, we're just going to hold it, you know, save it in our back pocket, but essentially tell everyone, we're not going to rush this release. We're going to make sure that when the time is right, then you will have it, which I do respect them for it. But otherwise, I am excited to see this new Gambit experience, and hopefully that experience will be able to tie all of the community around, so that they can back behind this and engage with this content while Trials returns. But that's it from me. Let me know in the comments down below how you're handling this, if you're a PvP person, if you're going to miss it, or you're excited, or just simply your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more future content like this. And I will see you in the next one.